Welcome to the Canon Art Gallery. My name is Michelle Kaskovich, and I'm an arts instructor with the Cultural Arts Office in the city of Carlsbad. Today, I will be taking you on a tour of our newest exhibit, Four Visions, a celebration of the Year of the Woman, and introducing you to the artwork of four women artists, celebrating not only their talent, but signifying the role of art in creating change. 2020 marks the 100th anniversary of the passing of the 19th Amendment, granting women the right to vote. Art helped to inspire and unify the suffragettes who were dedicated to expanding American democracy. Today, art continues to inspire and stir others. Four Visions, a celebration of the Year of the Woman, showcases four multi-generational women artists: Bianca Juarez, Anne Mudge, Marisol Rendon, and Klein Swanger. They each bring their own inspiration and vision to their work. The four artists challenge our assumptions of media by working with traditional as well as unexpected materials. Many of the pieces are solid and structural, while others are ethereal and otherworldly. We'll begin by exploring this sculpture by the artist Klein Swanger. What do you see in this work of art? What materials do you think this sculpture is made of? How do you think the artist created this sculpture? What does this artwork make you think of? Could it be a place, a structure? This artwork casts shadows on the floor and the walls. Do you think this was intentional? Why? This sculptural installation was inspired by personal memories of home, barriers, and ideas of the space between the physical and intangible. The shadow form is as important as the hand-quilted steel sculpture. Originally from North Hollywood, much of Klein Swanger's work is informed by her experiences growing up in Los Angeles. She lived across the street from a vacant lot where unwanted objects were dumped. She and her neighborhood friends would go there to play, create, and explore. Her time spent in that vacant lot has inspired much of her work. When she was an adult, a fence was put up that closed off that space to the neighborhood. She says it was the first time a physical barrier had separated her from a piece of land that she had such a strong emotional connection with. That experience has been a big motivator for a lot of her art, which explores the subconscious connections with place. Marisol Rendon expresses memory through her art. What memory do you think this artwork holds? Why? Does this artwork show texture? How do you think she created texture in this piece? What materials do you think she uses? Marisol Rendon was born in Colombia and now lives in San Diego. In her work, she explores the cultural divide. In her drawings, common objects are transformed into complex repositories of memories and meanings to reflect the culture at large and her memories and life experiences. Marisol Rendon works in charcoal, which is a black, crumbly drawing material made of carbon. Charcoal is traditionally made from thin, peeled willow twigs, which produces black, crumbly sticks. These sticks, when used for drawing, leave microscopic particles in the paper, producing a line that is dense at the pressure point, but more powdery at the edges. The result is less precise than hard graphite pencils, so charcoal is suited for freer studies. Charcoal smudges easily and is often protected with a sprayed fixative. Take a moment to observe these artworks by Bianca Juarez. What materials do you think she used to create them? Do you think these pots or vessels look modern or ancient? Do you think these vessels are decorative or functional? Why? A multidisciplinary artist based in Southern California, Bianca Juarez uses the ancient art form of pottery to explain, explore, and engage the world around her. Curiosity drives her work. She says, "Through a process of invention, imagination, and excavation, my ceramics give shape to different aspects of my subconscious and emotional life. I make sculptural vessels based on personal narrative and universal myths that reference rituals, celebrations, and the search for meaning in our lives. Inspired by history, folk art, and early cultures, I aim to evoke a universally shared emotional experience that imparts a feeling of connectedness. Pottery was one of the first art forms explored by humans. There are many extinct cultures throughout the world that did not leave a written history. However, we can learn about their daily life through the pottery they left behind. Bianca Juarez uses one of the earliest forms of pottery, hand building, to create her ceramics, using slabs and coils of clay to create the shapes she desires in her vessels. Anne Mudge is inspired by nature in her art. What forms from nature do you see in her work? How are these sculptures the same? How are they different? What materials do you think the artist used in her sculptures? Note how the sculptures move, creating shadows as they shift. Do you think this was intentional? Why? Nature informs Anne Mudge's sculptures. She has lived on a nursery for 30 years, and her experience of seeing the germination and the seedlings growing out of the dirt inspires her work. Her pieces, like seedlings, are made of very simple acts of repetition, a collection of small acts that eventually create something complete, like a tree or a sculpture. She says, "What drives my passion is how things are put together. I'm fascinated by structure, how every small entity is part of the complex whole." She usually begins with a drawing, but says, "I see where it wants to go instead of imposing an idea on it. They go in directions I had no idea about." You can't control it. You have an idea, but you have to see where it goes. Please stay for a virtual photo gallery of 4 visions. The Canon Art Gallery is currently open to the public, so if you are interested in exploring this exhibit in person, please visit our city website to find available days and times. On behalf of the Cultural Arts Office, I'd like to thank you for visiting the Canon Arts Gallery and sharing in this arts experience.